Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the future of the water and wastewater industry and the careers you didn't know about. And we are live in the studio at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, and we have a new friend who is the Senior Lead Water Infrastructure Manager at Snyder Civil, Mr. Chuck Madigan. Hi, Chuck. How you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you this morning?
Oh, great. Thank you. Thanks for taking time out to come over and tell us about your day job. So, hey, how many years you been in the water business?
Legally or underaged?
Whatever works.
I've been doing it for about, I'd say, about 54 years.
Okay, all right. Now, how many years you been with Snyder?
Working on my fifth year now.
On your fifth year. So where did you come from before Snyder?
I was with a different engineering firm for about 12 years and took a little break from that and went on the construction side and then got together with Don.
Oh, nice. So, what attracted you to the water industry?
My dad ran a water company for 25 years.
Really?
Yeah, in Plainville. So,
okay.
At an early age, about 8 years old, I started going to work with him on the weekends and
Nice.
started to learn the business. And I never really went with him. I went with the construction guys.
Okay.
So I got to learn how to do the repairs and what it took to do that.
Yeah.
And as I got older and I could do more things and got bigger,
Sure.
I started working for him through the summers and actually working with the construction crew, doing pressure tests. And,
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
And before they had all the nice electric tools they have now, we used to do the hand taps.
Oh yeah, the B100s, cranking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Yeah. Now with the technology certainly has changed. So in how tell us a little bit how the technology has changed in your business too.
Well, when I was younger, we did pressure tests. We had a pump on a board with a 55-gallon drum of water next to us, and you'd hand pump it to get it up to 150 pounds.
And then measure it, see how far it went down.
Yeah. Nowadays, the machine does everything, and you just stand there and calculate it.
Yeah. So what projects are you working on now? As far I know, you're doing a lot of inspections out in the field for Don. So
yeah, we right now we have 10 jobs going throughout the state.
Okay.
A lot of main work is going in. We're just started a project up in Enfield with Amazon project. It's a massive site.
Is that the big Amazon warehouse?
It's one of them in Enfield. And
oh, wow.
We haven't started the one in Waterbury that you can see from 84.
Okay.
That's twice the size of the one in Enfield.
Wow. Now, what size main you got feeding that?
That one is going to be 12-inch, but there's separate fire lines that are going to be like 8-inch.
Okay.
Up in Enfield, it's like 10-inch water main with fire lines, 10-inch fire lines, and 4 to 6-inch mains throughout the project.
Now, what's the source of water up there? Is that reservoir? Is that groundwater? Or?
No, that's reservoir.
It's reservoir. Okay.
Yep.
How big is reservoir up there? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head. No.
Okay. Yeah. Because everything goes. Obviously with water supply, we're here in Portland. We've got our old reservoir, which is basically considered an emergency water supply. Is in the infinite wisdom of the town fathers, they didn't want to put a filtration plant up there, but it's still there as a emergency supply if we need it. But we have our wells. We just put in a new well. But right now we have an interconnection with MDC. That we buy probably 60% of our water from. As far as that goes, and we have a 500,000 gallon a day plant at our town garage there, basically, which is supplements. As far as that goes, but our storage tanks which are up by the reservoir, so the water is pumped up there, and basically we have 2 500,000 gallon storage tanks up there, which feed the town.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and then at the high school we have 2 tanks up there, which basically for our high pressure side, which is the cone of the hill on High Street, because the reservoirs doesn't have enough pressure to feed that. We have 1 million gallon and a 500,000 gallon tank, basically with the pump house, which is down at the right on Bartlett Street, next to the telephone building down there, yeah, and so forth. But yeah, that. So our average consumption a day is not a whole lot. We're probably between 600 to 700,000 gallons a day. So which isn't too bad. What is the consumption in the system that you're working in?
I really don't know because with all the work we're doing,
Yeah.
Most of it is already figured out.
Okay.
So we're just doing the installation of the mains, and
Okay.
we get to know the working pressures,
Okay.
and they're anywhere from 70 to 110.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, because Donnie also has a construction side of the business too. Now, are you guys doing the installs of the main too?
No, yes and no. In the road and the main infrastructure, we're not. But when we build pump stations and we do the piping and tie into the mains when we put up new buildings
Okay.
for our different clients.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how many pump stations have you worked on?
Before I came to Don, I actually worked on a couple, and Snyder was the inspection company and
Okay.
the design firm. So I got to know the business from
Both
learning
sides.
from them. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's Don has worked hard on getting the foothold in the water industry, and I think he's. I mean, you guys are working for Aquarion. You guys are working for MDC. You guys are working for Connecticut Water. I think you're working for all of them pretty much.
Yeah, regional water also.
Okay. Yeah. The regional water, obviously, that's a quasi-public. Now that is that still owned by Comcast, or
I don't know who they're actually owned by. I know Aquarion was owned by Eversource.
Aquarion is owned by Eversource. Yeah. Because that was huge. I can remember Aquarion, which is when I started. I've been in the business 50 years after I retired, and that was the old Bridgeport Hydraulic Company.
Yes, my dad worked a lot with them back in the day, so I got to know some of them people too.
Yeah, you get that was down on Lindley Street, in Bridgeport. Yeah, we used to do water boot camps down there with John Herlihy. I don't know if you remember John.
No, I don't.
Yeah, John has been in the business. In fact, he's retired now, but I think he does some consulting work. But John and I used to do the water boot camps with Professor Wes Winterbottom, who basically is one of the adjunct professors at Gateway Community College, and he's head of the water management program down there. So.
Nice.
So now, are you an operator now? You have your operator certification?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No.
Because I had operator, I had basically distribution, and I had water treatment. So, but for small systems, most of the systems. I mean, obviously, you have to for MDC and Aquarion, you have to have a class 4. To work on there. But but we used to do the water boot camps for Metropolitan District as well, so forth. So, I mean, basically the premise of the podcast, I try to bring, younger students. I used to teach a water and people class at the high school, basically making high school seniors aware of, the opportunities to make a decent living at the in a water industry, and basically you don't really have to have a college education,
Yeah.
and that.
Yeah. It is a good career.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable, and the part that people miss on it is they think that you just dig ditches.
Yeah. No. Well, back in the day, I mean, that was a big part of it. But by the same token, as technology's improved and so forth, and that has changed now with the metering and monitoring and so forth. You get into a situation where, especially with the advent of SCADA, back in the day, we used to have. If you had an alarm, we used to carry a pager. You remember those?
Yes, sir.
And the pager to go off, and oh crap, we got an alarm. So I have to go up at the reservoir to find out what the hell the story is. Whether it was something that maybe it was a low water tank pressure, or maybe it was the chlorinator. It was low chlorine or whatever. Now with SCADA, you just dial in with a laptop, and a lot of times you can just fix the problem right from the laptop.
Yeah, back in the day when I was working on call for the weekend, you'd have to go to the office, read all the tanks and
your pressures.
the pressures, and it was. Nowadays, you could probably do that all from home with a laptop, like you're saying, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so when you were working from home, I mean, how many guys were you working with back in that day?
there was three of us.
Three of us.
that did the field work.
Okay.
Two guys in the field, and then one of the gentlemen. He used to test the meters and read the meters.
Yes, meter testing. Now that's a lost art again.
Yeah,
It's cheaper to buy a new one and replace it, for Christ's sake, than back in the day we had the old Trident Neptune water meters that with all brass, and you had to test them, calibrate them, put new parts in them, and then retest them again, and then put them in and all that kind of stuff. I guess now now I make lamps out of them. How many customers did you guys service with those?
I think it was. I want to say 20,000.
Okay.
Not to be exact, but give or take.
Yeah. See, Portland here is we only got like 2,300 customers. Our population in town is like about 9,000. And 60% of the town is probably supplies water, and the other rural sections we don't have water out in the country.
Yeah.
And so forth. But a lot of times you get to the situation where you're doing leak detection and finding out where your unaccountable water is, or the unaccountable or non-revenue water. That's always the situation, trying to figure out, okay, do we know where the water went, or we don't know where the water went? Do you get involved in much leak detection at all?
We don't. Once we put a new main in and they pressure test it, if there is a leak, then we have to try to figure out what's leaking and isolate it. Get it to a smaller area, and then most of the time you can figure it out. But when it's so small, they will bring in an outside company that'll come and listen for it and try to pinpoint it.
Yeah. Now, do you get involved much in cross connection at all?
No.
Because a lot of times, I used to have cross connection certification for testing and repairing and all that kind of stuff. When you had the backflow preventers, the RPDs, or just the pressure vacuum breaker. But one of the things that I went to when I took my certification for a backflow, I went up and took it in Boston at the water utility up there. We used to have to go out and they had, the RPDs were 10-inch, 12-inch, and so forth. We went and tested in the hospitals, and the springs on them were like car coil springs. If you didn't watch yourself, you'd take your head off when you pop those things loose.
Yeah.
You get, but a lot of situations where you get into like lawn irrigation systems, we require an RPD on all installed lawn irrigation systems. And a lot of towns will just use a pressure vacuum breaker, but you get to a situation where I found companies that come in and do a lot of the fertilizing, ChemLawn and all that kind of stuff. I caught up in Paley Farms. I caught them up there one time, and they were pumping the fertilizer in through this irrigation system.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
No.
It wasn't good. That's when we started, basically, requiring RPDs. That way you've got that air gap in there to go from there. So fantastic. So if you were going to give, young people advice on the water industry, what would you say to them?
You could pick and choose what you want to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity. You could either be in the field doing the hands-on work,
Yeah.
or you could be in the office designing,
Yeah.
or I tried to get a piece of everything when I was younger.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But everybody thinks that if you work for a water utility that you're going to be outside and in a hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the industry's changed so much that
Oh yeah.
there's multiple levels of different jobs you can do now.
For sure. For sure.
You know.
Like I say, with SCADA and technology, you got people that basically just. I used to. You got just sampling alone. I mean,
Yep.
you can just. I used to go. I mean, when I was in the water department, there were 4 of us there, and I used to do all of the sampling, and on the various points in the distribution system, and then you bring them over to do. We used to use EML laboratory over in Wallingford, but you had to do weekly sampling. Then you'd have to do your quarterly sampling, and then you have to do with your, radionuclides and all that kind of stuff, and so forth. But
Well, everybody thinks it's a man's industry,
yeah,
but there's a ton of women in the business now, and they're doing sampling.
Sure.
They're actually working in the field with us.
yeah, yeah.
You know, so there's definitely a lot of opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. Well, meter reading alone. I mean, when I started, we had the black books. Okay, you flip, you'd walk down the street, you flip the page, and okay, you walk in and knock on a door, or go down the cellar and read the water meter. Now it's they went to the outside odometers, and then now it's with the drive-by stuff. It's you can drive. You used to take us a month to read. Now it takes us 3 days to read the whole town. So. But yeah, you get this situation where it's again, technology has made vast improvements. So anyway, so what do you like to do for fun? Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, I work on race cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have some race cars. We race up and down the East Coast.
Okay, are you short track or
Yeah, we
Thompson or Stafford?
Yep, Thompson, Stafford, Waterford. We run modifieds, the NASCAR Modified Tour,
Okay.
the Monaco Tri-Track Tour, and then we were racing weekly in Waterford.
Okay. Beamer owns Waterford now, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, okay. So yeah, that's when I first started going. Used to go there quite a bit, and that was we used to call that the teacup. It was a short track,
Yeah.
Didn't take you far to get around that track. Thompson, I think, is the biggest track, right?
Correct. Well, we go to New Hampshire now, too.
Oh, yeah, Loudon.
At Loudon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 1 mile. Thompson's 5/8, Stafford's a half.
Now, has the Cup Series, did they stop coming to Loudon?
No, they come once a year
They
now
come once a year.
instead
Okay.
of twice.
Okay, because they used to be twice a year. Yeah,
Correct,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. So, well, we had Joey Logano grew up in Portland, okay, and moved to Middletown and so forth. So, Joey actually, Tommy used to bring him here for drum lessons way back in the day.
I'll have to razz them about that one.
So forth, yes, but he's come a long way. He's one of the old guys in the crowd now.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, and their technology is in that business. Did you guys build your own motors, or you?
No, we buy all our motors, but we do everything else in house.
Yeah. So, do you normally bring a spare car to the track?
Yes, we have 2 of all the cars.
Oh,
we run
okay.
3 different classes.
Okay.
So
Wow. Yeah. Any kids?
I have a daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In school or out of school?
No, she's out of school. She graduated from the University of Alabama, and she lives out in Texas, in
Oh, okay.
Austin.
And what's her degree in her?
Communications.
Oh, okay. Well, communications is huge these days. My God, for sure.
Yes.
I graduated from my degree is in music, but working for the town, I went 50 years in the water business and so forth. But my wife and I bought this place 41 years ago, so was my side hustle, and now it's my main hustle. I go from there, so fantastic. So, anything else, Chuck? You want to go over?
No, I think that's good. I just wish we could get some younger people involved, and
Yeah, well, and then that's hopefully we're going to get this up in a podcast, and I get this over to. I also air this on the public access channel, Channel 15 over in Middletown. So this gets aired over there. I usually air it on the Shoreline Comcast channels down there. So hopefully we can get some coverage and go from there. But our we run 3 podcasts out of here. I have our John Peckman podcast, which is basically a music podcast my drum teacher does. And then I have Connecticut Valley podcast, which is basically I just kind of highlight local businesses. In fact, Donnie was on one of my first podcasts, so forth. And we've had quite a few from Snyder been here. So, but I appreciate you coming up. And anyway, so alrighty.
well, thanks for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chuck Madigan, who is the Senior Water Infrastructure Manager at Snyder Civil, is in the house and came up to share some of his knowledge, and we appreciate that. So from all of us here at the Future of the Water and Wastewater Industry and the Careers You Didn't Know About, that is all. Thank you.